When you think of the rise of powerful kingdoms in early medieval Britain, one name stands out among them all: Offa, King of Mercia. But what made Offa's reign so remarkable? What was it about this powerful ruler that transformed Mercia from a relatively obscure kingdom into one of the most influential powers in all of England? This is a story of ambition, military conquest, monumental achievements, and a vision that changed the course of history. Mercia was a kingdom located in the heart of Anglo-Saxon England, but before Offa took the throne, it was just one among several competing kingdoms. Wessex, Northumbria, and East Anglia all had their own power and influence, with Mercia sometimes sitting in the shadow of these larger or more powerful neighbors. Mercia had a long history, but it was during Offa's reign in the late 8th century that the kingdom truly began to rise to prominence. Before Offa's reign, Mercia was still a significant kingdom, but it wasn't the dominant force in Anglo-Saxon England. While it controlled much of central England, it faced constant pressure from its more powerful neighbors like Wessex, Northumbria, and East Anglia. These kingdoms often vied for control over the strategic regions of the island, and Mercia, despite its strong military and cultural roots, was sometimes overshadowed. The kingdom had experienced periods of strength and vulnerability, with shifting alliances and rivalries that made its position precarious. It was in this competitive and unstable landscape that Offa rose to power, determined to transform Mercia into a kingdom that would rival and even surpass the others. Anglo-Saxon England during Offa's time was a land fragmented into rival kingdoms. The idea of a unified England seemed like a distant dream, as each kingdom competed for dominance over the others. Wessex, Northumbria, and Mercia were the most significant players in this political chess game. However, what set Mercia apart was its strategic position in the center of the island. Offa's leadership would be key in consolidating power, uniting his kingdom, and extending its reach beyond the traditional borders. Offa was born into the royal family of Mercia, the son of King Thingfrith. As a young man, Offa was thrust into the world of royal politics and warfare. His early years were marked by the challenges of securing his position in a kingdom rife with internal strife and external threats. He was not the immediate heir to the throne, but through political maneuvering, alliances, and military skill, Offa eventually claimed the throne for himself. Offa's rise to power wasn't smooth. There were rivalries and struggles for control within the kingdom, and Offa's path to the throne was fraught with political intrigue. But Offa proved to be an astute leader, making key alliances and outsmarting rivals. He eventually claimed the throne in 757 after the death of King Ethelbald. Offa's determination, charisma, and vision would allow him to transform Mercia into one of the most formidable kingdoms in England. One of the most significant aspects of Offa's reign was his military campaigns. Determined to expand Mercia's borders and secure its position as the dominant power in England, Offa launched a series of successful campaigns against neighboring kingdoms. By defeating the forces of Wessex, East Anglia, and Northumbria, Offa was able to extend Mercia's territory, bringing much of southern England under his rule. His military prowess and strategic acumen would define his reign. Through a series of strategic victories, Offa was able to unify much of southern England. His success in battle allowed him to consolidate power and create a unified kingdom that was both politically and militarily strong. Offa's ability to unite various regions, forge alliances, and defeat rival kings made him a powerful figure in Anglo-Saxon England. His victories were not just about territorial expansion. They were about establishing Mercia as the dominant force in the region. Perhaps one of Offa's most enduring legacies is the creation of Offa's Dyke, a massive earthwork that stretched across the border between England and Wales. This monumental achievement was not just a physical barrier, but also a symbol of Offa's power and ambition. The dyke marked the western frontier of Offa's kingdom and was built to protect Mercia from the growing threat of Welsh kingdoms. But it also served as a statement. Offa was determined to defend his borders and assert his authority over the lands he had conquered. Offa's dyke had multiple purposes. First, it was a defensive structure designed to protect Mercia from invasions by the Welsh. Second, it served as a boundary marker, clearly demarcating the lands under Offa's control. Finally, it was a powerful display of Offa's authority. The sheer scale of the dyke demonstrated the strength of Mercia under his rule and sent a clear message to neighboring kingdoms. Mercia was a force to be reckoned with. Offa's dyke reveals much about the king's ambitions. It was not simply about defense, it was about asserting dominance. By creating such a monumental structure, Offa sought to solidify his control over the borders of his kingdom and send a message to both his enemies and allies. The dyke was a clear representation of Offa's desire to expand and protect Mercia, and it underscored his vision of creating a powerful, unified kingdom. Offa's reign was marked by a close relationship with the church, which played a key role in consolidating his power. Offa understood the importance of religious authority in legitimizing his rule, and he worked tirelessly to foster a strong relationship with the Christian Church. He sought the support of the Pope, and in return, he gained recognition as a powerful and legitimate ruler. One of Offa's most significant achievements in relation to the Church was the establishment of the Archbishopric of Lichfield. This was a bold move that elevated Mercia's religious stature and allowed Offa to exert greater control over the church in his kingdom. By founding an independent archbishopric, Offa not only secured religious influence, but also further solidified his rule over the region. Offa's reign wasn't just defined by military conquests and religious reforms. It was also a time of economic growth and development. Offa introduced several reforms that helped strengthen Mercia's economy. One of his most important contributions was the establishment of a stable monetary system. By introducing a standardized silver penny, Offa revolutionized trade and commerce, both within his kingdom and beyond. This coin would become the standard currency for centuries to come, further cementing Mercia's influence. The silver penny introduced by Offa became one of the most significant innovations of his reign. It standardized currency across Mercia, making trade easier and more efficient. This coin would continue to be used throughout the Anglo-Saxon period, and even influenced the currency systems of later English monarchs. Offa's silver penny was a symbol of his economic foresight and his ability to strengthen Mercia's position in the wider world. Offa's reign also saw the establishment of important international relationships. One of his most significant alliances was with Charlemagne, the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. Offa sought to strengthen Mercia's position on the European stage, and his relationship with Charlemagne was key to this. Through diplomatic exchanges and shared interests, Offa and Charlemagne created a powerful alliance that boosted Mercia's political influence. Thanks to Offa's military, economic, and diplomatic efforts, Mercia emerged as a significant player on the international stage. Through his alliances with powerful rulers like Charlemagne and his strong economic policies, Offa ensured that Mercia's influence extended far beyond the borders of England. Mercia's rise under Offa was not just a local phenomenon. It was a shift in the balance of power across Europe. Offa's reign wasn't just about military and political achievements. It was also a period of cultural growth. The Anglo-Saxon period saw significant advancements in art, architecture, and learning, much of which can be attributed to Offa's leadership. During his reign, Mercia became a cultural hub of Anglo-Saxon England, with monasteries and churches flourishing as centers of learning and artistic expression. Under Offa, Mercia became a center for the production of illuminated manuscripts, religious art, and fine metalwork. The monasteries of Mercia were known for their scholarship, and Offa supported the arts in order to enhance his kingdom's cultural influence. These cultural developments would leave a lasting legacy in the history of Anglo-Saxon England. Sadly, Offa's achievements did not last long after his death. Mercia began to lose its power and influence as internal conflicts and external pressures took their toll. His sons were unable to maintain the strong, centralized rule that Offa had established, and the kingdom began to fracture. As Mercia struggled after Offa's death, the once unified kingdom slowly splintered into smaller, less powerful territories. The authority that Offa had worked so hard to centralize unraveled, and the kingdom faced increasing pressure from the growing power of Wessex, which had begun to rise as the dominant force in southern England. The Viking raids in the 9th century further destabilized the region, adding another layer of turmoil to an already fragile political landscape. Mercia's rulers lacked the vision and leadership of Offa, and without his strong hand at the helm, the kingdom gradually faded from the spotlight, ultimately becoming absorbed into the expanding Kingdom of Wessex by the end of the 9th century. As we look back on Offa's incredible reign, we can't ignore the storm that was brewing just beyond the borders of Anglo-Saxon England. With Mercia's influence beginning to wane, a new chapter in British history was about to unfold, one filled with chaos, bloodshed, and fierce invaders. In the next episode, we'll dive into one of the most iconic events of the early medieval period, the Viking raids on Lindisfarne. This wasn't just an attack on a monastery. It marked the beginning of the Viking Age and the dawn of a brutal new era for the British Isles. Stay tuned to see how the Viking raiders shocked the world, sparking centuries of conflict that would reshape England's fate forever. If you've enjoyed exploring the rise of Mercia, don't forget to check out my earlier episodes. Trust me, you won't want to miss how the stories connect. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss what's coming next. The saga of Britain is just getting started. If you want to truly understand the full scope of England's incredible journey through history, make sure to explore my previous episodes. From the rise of powerful kingdoms like Mercia to the fierce resistance of the Iceni, each chapter builds on the last, giving you a deeper look into how the events of the past shaped the world we know today. By watching all the episodes, you'll get the complete picture. No part of this story should be missed. Trust me, every episode is a crucial piece of the puzzle. So, dive in, get the context, and keep following along. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any future episodes. The next part of this epic journey is coming soon. Let's keep unraveling history together.